What's cooking? Today we're gonna make a smoothie bowl base that is so good that it can fool any child into eating healthy food or any sensitive palate into eating healthy food. You have the option to amplify the protein if you want with any one of these various things that I'm gonna go over. And I'm gonna make a base that is thick and creamy, and you can scoop it with a spoon and it won't fall out. So what I like to start with is whole milk plain yogurt or whole milk Greek yogurt. And I like whole milk over non-fat because the texture that it gives to the smoothie, when you have the non-fat stuff, it just takes on a taste and a texture that's just, it's just bizarre, and I just don't like it. So this gives it more of like the ice cream feel to me. So based on who I'm making it for or what my needs are for the day, I'll start with around a quarter cup of the yogurt per person who's gonna have the smoothie. So, but for me, I like this stuff a lot, so I'll typically have upwards of a cup of it in here. But for the purposes of this demo today, I'm gonna have about a half cup. So I'm gonna pour that into my Pyrex. And generally, I keep a Pyrex on the counter next to this thing so that I can use it every day. Okay, and then just to give it a little more looseness so that it doesn't get so clogged up when I start adding the fruit and the frozen stuff, I'll put about a quarter cup of whole milk. And again, I'm not using skim anything, I'm not using low fat or non-fat anything. And if it were possible, these things would be raw, but that's really difficult for me to acquire locally. So about a quarter cup of whole milk. Okay, we'll take this out of the loop. Then I am nuts about freezing fruit. And if you've ever come to my house, you'll see sometimes that, like, as a result of a Costco delivery from Instacart, that I'll have upwards of 4 bundles of bananas all at once. And people are like, what the hell are you doing with all your bananas? So here's what I do. Basically, any fruit that's about to go bad, I'll freeze it. So these are blackberries. No one was really eating them. They were just all right, so I'll freeze them. They become part of a smoothie. Same thing with the raspberries. They were getting a little mush before they started getting all nasty and moldy. Freeze them. Now, blueberries, whatever. I order bags of these from Costco. They have organic blueberries at Costco, and they have organic blueberries at Aldi. And bananas. So this is what I do with my bananas. I have a whole banana operation going. So I'll take multiple bundles of bananas from Costco all at once, and then I'll peel them when they're ripened, when they're very ripened. I'll peel them and I'll place them into a Ziploc like this, all relatively flat, and I'll let them freeze flat so that they stay nice and loose. So when it comes time to get one, it's easy to just take one out of the bag. If you cut them up into little slices, or if you leave the peel on, or if you jam stuff on top or place stuff on top, then they become like this big block of mush that's almost impossible to work with. So I'll take a frozen banana, break it in half. Frozen is the key because it continues to give it that really nice texture, okay? So basically all the fruit that I'm gonna add to this is frozen, and the only high sugar fruit that I'm adding to this is a banana. And I only do 1 or even a half of a medium banana in addition to what else I have here. Raspberries, when you factor how many calories and carbs are in raspberries, it's really like a non-issue because they're very low sugar and they're very low calorie. So I'll just throw a little frozen raspberry in there for flavor, a couple frozen blackberries. And again, I'm not like obsessing over the amounts of these things because I know that they're each less than a quarter cup. And if you look up a quarter cup of blackberries, it's like 13 calories or something. So I'm not really overly concerned. If you need to measure stuff out, I recommend using a Pyrex or other mixing cups because a half a cup of fruit is not a lot. Visually, it's not a lot at all. So you want to be mindful of how much fruit you're taking in because fruit contains sugar and that stuff starts to add up. I'm not demonizing fruit as a sugar source or as a carb source because it's one of my primary sources for carbs these days. However, if you're not paying attention, you can go overboard with that. So blueberries too, I'll throw in a little handful. And again, I'll gravitate to berries in these things over all other fruits because the low sugar content and the high micronutrient content. I'm not gonna dive into the micronutrients of blueberries, raspberries, and blackberries, but just note that they're very good for you. So this is a small handful. It's the last of what's in this bag. I always stay armed with other frozen stuff. Like I have in the freezer, I have a huge bag of blueberries, so that when I run out, I constantly have them. I do all this through digital shopping. So Costco comes, delivers all this stuff, or Aldi. Okay, that's like 12 blueberries. I think that's about 4 calories. So far the only thing with substance in here is the half cup of whole milk plain yogurt, the quarter cup of whole milk, the full medium banana, about a quarter cup of, or about a half cup total of berries, if you want to call it, like just, if you want to just round it up. And if you want to just be really generous when you're tracking your calories and just say it's a full cup of berries, which it's not, but this way you can allocate for that, you know, that variance that may occur. Okay, so from here, I'll place the top on. I'll get this thing, which is a pretty bizarre tool to use, you know. And what it does though is it prevents jamming, and it makes it so that when this thing turns on, that you constantly pound down on it, and you can get this really thick, creamy base that I have not been able to accomplish with any other home blender. So I'm a big fan of the Vitamix and a huge fan of the stainless steel container. The other container was plastic and it was like enormous. And so this is more like for small family size or for individual size. This to me is very nice. It almost reminds me of when I was a kid, when I would go to Friendly's and you would get the fribble and you would get it in that steel container. Or if you go to the diner and you get the steel container, that's what it feels like for me when I eat out of this thing directly, which I'll do sometimes. So I'll always start it on a very, very low setting. And I'll always put the liquids in the softer stuff down on the bottom first. And I'll turn it on a very low setting to start on 1. And I'll instantly start pushing down on it. Because what happens is the frozen fruit really clumps up. And if you don't push down on it, the blades can't connect with it, and it doesn't turn into the ice cream consistency that you're looking for a smoothie base, right? So I keep jamming. And then I'll amplify the speed a little bit. And so you get to a certain point and it doesn't do anything. It's just spinning. So you kind of gotta step back, continue to push down, kind of spin it around. And note about this thing, no matter how hard you push on this, it's designed so that the blades will never connect with it. It's like the perfect height, so you can keep pushing. You're not gonna worry about chopping plastic off into your smoothie, which is probably not a good flavor. Okay, so I'll keep spinning it. I'll keep looking in, and I keep it real low, and I'm gonna get the camera. Check it out. Let's look in there. See how it's spinning real low? And the fruit is like kind of stuck on the sides a little bit. Turn it up just a little bit. Start to see it cave in. Oh yeah, there we go. Turn it up a little bit more. So I'm going up. Oh yeah. And then turn it up a little more, and then you just let it rip. Take a look. Look at that. Look at that nice consistency. See that? That's great. It's not ice cream, but man, I'll tell you, it tastes real good. Okay, so what I'll do from here, on days that I'm trying to get some extra protein, and now just note that a half a cup of this and a quarter cup of this, that's not a lot of protein. It's 7-8 grams of protein total, maybe. The fruit contains no protein at all. So at this point, I probably got about 30 grams of carbs and very low protein for my preferences for protein. So I have different options on different days for different reasons that I like to use these various things. And collagen peptides, you can sneak into one of these things and it doesn't really alter the flavor. I only do a half of a serving to make sure that it doesn't alter the flavor, but from what I understand, collagen doesn't necessarily metabolize as protein the same way as regular protein. So I'll add one scoop of this, this is a single ingredient collagen peptide. It's Sports Research Collagen Peptides. I got it on Amazon. One ingredient, pure, nothing else. This is it. There's one ingredient. I'm all about single ingredients. I have whey protein, unflavored, cold filtered, one ingredient, whey protein. If you look at the back of whey protein that you get from like Costco or these other places, there's like 10 ingredients that is completely unnecessary in a protein powder. This is whey protein. That's it, one ingredient. So I could do one scoop of this, which is about 14 grams of protein, okay? And it alters the flavor just enough where I can detect it and I don't like it that much. But I'll still do it because I'm getting my protein in. However, my favorite for this, believe it or not, and it's not as bioavailable as whey protein, I understand that. But my favorite is, more bang for my buck, is 4 tablespoons of one ingredient, single ingredient, pea protein and pea protein isolate. I like this a lot. It blends in nicely. It doesn't have that kind of that real heavy dairy flavor that comes with whey, in addition to the yogurt and the milk, which is like a lot of dairy at once. So I really like this a lot. So 4 tablespoons equals 1/4 cup. So it's often that I'll just put in, I keep a little 1/4 cup thing in here and I'll just bang this into the smoothie bowl mix. Now again, note that when you add these proteins, and I'll do 1 scoop of this. So that's about 32 grams of protein that I just added. And 1 scoop of this is 10 grams of collagen protein, which is just different. So I don't really count it as much, but with 32 grams of protein and about the 8 that I put with these dairy products, this thing will have 40 grams of protein, okay? 40 grams of protein plus the 10 that was in the collagen, that's 50, but it's not really the same calculation, but just for macro purposes, it's 50 grams of protein in 1 smoothie with 30 grams of carbs. See how I shifted it from super high carb, which is what most people do, and most people fall into that trap where it's super high carb, super low protein, and they do that throughout the day. You wanna flip it. You wanna topsy-turvy that shit. You wanna go high protein, lesser carbs. So what I'll do now is, it's had a chance to settle. I'll just put it all the way back up to 1 and just let it swirl in. See how, watch the smoothie bowl, it'll start to gobble it up. The problem is if you go too thick and then you put the powder, if you go too thick and then you put the powder on top, if you put too much powder on top, then what happens is you start trying to jam it down with this and all the powder sticks to this thing, it becomes a big pain in the ass. So you wanna make sure that the smoothies had a chance to settle and that you put the powder directly in the center so that when it starts that little tornado thing, like a drain, it'll pull the powder in and distribute it throughout the smoothie bowl. So at the end of all this, I'm left with this concoction right here that if I want, I can eat with a spoon, or if I want to go further, I can put some grain-free granola on it. I can put regular granola on it, coconut flakes, a couple tiny little chocolate chips. I got a tip for the chocolate chip thing. Chocolate chips that I prefer are Enjoy Life chocolate chips. Again, there's like 3 ingredients in this thing. Cane sugar first. So again, if you do this, and because these are the mini chips, like if you just need a little extra crunch and you just have a desire for some chocolate, throw in like 10 of these things. It's literally nothing and you just get a really good chocolate flavor and there's no junk. They're like dairy-free, allergy-free, all that good stuff. I'm gonna make another one of these videos showing you how to make a smoothie bowl with coconut milk with full fat and pineapple and a little banana, and do the same thing in a non-dairy environment. So these would go either way. These are non-dairy. These things are so good, and as far as chocolate chips go, they're really good for you. And again, if you're trying to sneak health into a kid, this is the way to go. You sprinkle like a teaspoon of these on top, and if you needed a little extra nutrition in there, Wild Whey, grain-free granola, stuff's really good. It doesn't have a sugary taste to it at all, so it's just an extra added crunch, very low carbs. Again, I like all purely Elizabeth products. Sometimes I'll sprinkle that like traditional granola on top or their grain-free options as well. So whatever you put on top obviously adds calories and it adds carbs and it adds other content to this. So this is just for the smoothie base, and I hope that helps get you going in a good direction to make something that's high in protein and that tastes very good, and ultimately that you could, you know, start giving to your kid. Again, sometimes the protein gets a little too detectable and you want to just dial it back, especially if you're trying to fool a kid, because so what I would do then is just sneak in a little bit of the pea protein or a little bit of the whey, and just, you know, if they have 20 grams of protein, then it's still a win, right? So give it a shot, see how it works out. Hope this helped. Vitamix Stainless Steel is amazing. Good luck.